You're recovering from your past. You feel like life is taking your last. At your dreams you're starting to laugh. It's time to put down the emotional bags. Tune in to the Simply Self podcast. The Simply Self podcast. Tune in.
You are listening to the Simply Self podcast, hosted by Soekneiuaha, aka Pastor Greer. I know y'all say, what in the M. Night Shyamalan, where is Persephone? What is it for those of y'all that listen to the podcast? I know y'all wonder, what in the world? Listen, before we get into it, let me introduce myself. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Pausefunei Soekneiuaha, aka Pastor Greer, and this is the Simply Self podcast. Let me explain. For those of you who don't know, I recently, my husband and I welcomed our first son, Alonzo. Shout out to Alonzo. He'll be 3 months old on February 3rd. And I'm struggling. To put it in a word, I'm struggling to balance new motherhood with everything else in life. I've had to step back from quite a lot. Had to step back from some ministry obligations that I had. I had to rework some things. I'm still in the middle of pivoting and reworking some things. I guess I just wanted to come and talk to you for a minute, because what had happened was, this past Monday, almost a week ago, it'll be a week ago when you hear this, I attempted to make my, little big comeback situation with the sheer truth with Pausefunei Soekneiuaha, and baby, it did not it did not happen. I thought I was ready. I really thought I was ready, but I was not. And it's okay that I'm not ready. I have been putting myself on timelines my entire life. When I get to this stage, I can do this. When I get to this stage, I can do that. When I have this, I can be happy. When I have that, I'll feel okay. When I have this, I'll feel, more like an adult. Or when I have this, I feel more. And it has not worked out for me. One of the things that I always remember Dr. Phil McGraw saying, he would always say, how's that working out for you? And I had to really ask myself, how is this working out for me? Putting all this insane pressure on myself, how is that working? Because my husband is not putting pressure on me. My son is not putting pressure on me. Society tries to put pressure on everybody, but I that doesn't matter, because society don't pay my bills. Society does not love me. Society does not care for me. Society is not by my side every day. My husband and my son are, and my friends and my family that I'm close to, So I really had to evaluate, what does motherhood really mean to me? What does being a wife really mean to me? What does a pastor really mean to me? What does being a pastor really mean to me? And balance. That word, balance and priority. Without those two things, you're not going to be able to make it. If you don't know how to balance your multiple roles, everybody has multiple roles. Every single person, whether you're young, old, male, female, you have multiple roles in your life, and you have to learn how to balance those things. Let me tell you some things that are going on in my life right now. Okay. Our son, like I said, Alonzo, is almost 3 months old. I'm breastfeeding him, as well as pumping milk. I'm nursing and pumping milk. And most of my days are consumed with nursing him, rocking him to sleep, waking him up, changing his diaper, playing with him, interacting with him, teaching him, nurturing him. And then I had to find time for laundry. Then I had to find time for cleaning. Then I had to find time for washing his bottles. Then I had to find. So I really had to step back from a lot because, listen, society tells us that not only women, we have to snap back physically and be a stealthy size 8 after we have our children, but we're also expected to jump back into everything as though nothing changed, as though nothing happened. And if my pregnancy taught me anything, it's that I have control over very little. But what I do have the most control over is my ability and my willingness to balance, my willingness to pivot, my willingness to recognize when something needs to shift, when something needs to change. I have had to really, I'm no longer going to negotiate with the person that I thought I should be. I am going to accept who I am right now and strive to be a better version of myself. But I am no longer going to sit and pick myself apart and try to negotiate with myself to try to feel better about not being that perfect version of what it is. Not a perfect person, but the perfect version of myself that I want to be. It's exhausting. And this isn't just about new motherhood. This is about any stage of life. But for me right now, as a new mother and as a wife, I had to strip away so much. I was trying to do too much. I was trying to be everything to everybody, and it was not working. I don't want to be a great anything at the expense of being a great wife and a great mother. And being a great wife and a great mother, those things can mean many different things to many different people as far as what you have to do, what are the requirements to be considered a great wife and a great mother. The only three people's opinion that matters to me when it comes to me being a great wife and a great mother are God, my husband, and my son. Period. Now, if anybody else feels like I'm a great wife for looking in from the outside, cool. If anybody else feels like I'm a great mother looking in from the outside, cool. But unless Alonzo Greer thinks that I'm a great mother, and unless Clifford William Greer II thinks that I'm a great wife, there's still something that I need to do. There's still something that I need to fix, change, and implement. Okay? So that's where I am right now. And I don't know what this looks like. I just know that this is the direction I need to be going in. So come along with me on the journey, because all I know is I had to let some stuff go. I love serving in ministry, but I had to step back. And stepping back from ministry, stepping back from certain responsibilities within ministry, because I can never step away from ministry totally. This is a part of ministry. My marriage is a part of my ministry. How I interact with my child is a part of my ministry. How I interact with the public is a part of my ministry. So just because I'm not serving in ministry in a church setting at the moment, that does not mean that I'm not still allowing God to use me. I'm going to talk more about faith, family, and function in the future. And see, my alarm's going off. That's one of my alarms to pump milk, y'all. So, I mean, it's a lot. I have to set alarms to remind myself to pump. I have to set alarms and I have to write down. It's a lot, okay? But I love it. It's a lot, but I love it. It's taxing, but it's terrific. There's nothing like having what you prayed for, but you got to know how to manage it. There's nothing like having what you prayed for, but you have to learn how to make what you prayed for a priority once you receive it. A lot of us want a lot of stuff. We want a lot of things. We want to accomplish a lot of things. But unless or until we are prepared to properly manage those things, your blessing can become a burden. And I don't want that for you, and I don't want that for me. So come along with me on this journey to try to figure this out, because the sheer truth with Pausefunei Soekneiuaha is still on a hiatus. I redid the intro. I did new photography and new flyers, logos, all that for everything, right? I was prepared on the 23rd. I was ready mentally. I was there. I was ready to go. But my son needed me. My son needed me. And him snuggling on his mama and him being comforted by his mama was more important than what I thought I needed to do. So that's where it is. And the office/studio is now his nursery. Well, half of it. Half of it is the nursery, and the other half is the studio in the office. But I'm actually recording this podcast in me and my husband's bedroom. So I'm sitting on the bed. I have the laptop. I have the Scarlett 2i2, which is a very awesome interface. So, if you're looking for a great interface to record, definitely the Scarlett 2i2 is my favorite. And I got the bundle with the interface, the headphones, and the microphone. So I have that. So my studio is portable. So I have my MacBook, I have my Scarlett 2i2, and I'm just sitting on the bed talking to y'all. And that's, I had this vision in my mind of how I wanted things to be when I recorded, and I wanted to be sitting at the desk and have my, have everything set up. But this is working. This is working. I'm making it work, and I love it here. This has been very challenging. I've had to deal with, a whole lot of physical and emotional stuff. But when I tell you I love it here, I love it here. Okay? And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this podcast available on, all the streaming platforms, all the major streaming platforms, and as well as YouTube. And I'm just gonna work it. We're just gonna work it. I'm gonna do whatever I can do, however I can do, and do my little reels here and there. If I don't do anything else, I have to show up for my God, my husband, and my son. And that, my friends, is ministry. Well, I'm Pausefunei Soekneiuaha, aka Pastor Greer, and you have been listening to the Simply Steph podcast. I love you. Be well, do well, live well, all that good stuff. I love you, and I will catch up with you later. Bye.